The Enlightenment Chasers. Royalties of Peace. We are still in the storms back to peace that has no storm while holding on to perfect peace. This is episode 50 of our Golden Age podcast by Mavis Free Lefang. Today is Monday, June 2nd of 2025. Here we are in another month of the year 2025, the Golden Age, commencement. Half of the year gone. And if you are a good coach, an enlightenment chaser, you must be very curious at this time, understanding the pressure all over the world with renewal of statues, with the upgrading of life, by empowering skills that can uplift every nation to its best. We all want a better life, one way or the other. It is always about wellness. It is always about reaching the holistic state of the universe, in which even when 99 of the world is saved, the one lost brings anxiety. Whichever part of the world you are today, be you of outstanding or one struggling, there is a battlefield of the mind. We are struggling with a battlefield of the mind, and there is need for wellness, requiring coaching each other to perfect our being, regardless of our color, race, or gender of being, male or female. Whatever you feel must endure in perfect peace, and that requires knowledge. Achieving knowledge that can heal our deficits of the mind. We are experiencing a biological life at present, and we all are involved. There is pain, there is temperature, yearning for peace that must grow and not decrease. A human world like a wrapped up candy, protecting self from being destroyed. Sometimes it seems like imprisonment, such that even trying to adapt is a struggle when we have to keep on increasing in number of population instead of knowledge. Time is the power, even if work is very little, because of too many people. More of like trying to pick up a tiny white pin from a black floor by many hands. Does not require that we destroy people, but we all can enable a strategy to all contribute in picking up that one needle from the floor. It takes integrity, the healing from despair, supportive of each other, good, not despair. You cannot support someone's despair, even if mistakenly doing so. We are required to always train ourselves to be knowledgeable continuously without ceasing. Un seul mot continuer. We cannot despise the good of people if we know how to identify one's identity from their diagnosis. We all make mistakes does not mean it is natural. If it was natural, we would not have any discomforts. Having discomforts because of our mistakes shows that our natural being is perfect. A natural being is good. There is need to reach an end goal. And it takes coaching each other healthily. There must be a means of communication. Of words or action should have a healthy interpretation to fulfill its purpose. Truth sets us free, but the truth is not everything that comes out of your mouth. Truth is what brings peace. Does not neglect the premature thoughts that must be given time to mature, depending on how we communicate it with each other, to yield what must be a command. There's a difference between a statement and a command. We must be able to differentiate what is a statement from what is a command, so we do not strangle each other when we are called to be free. People of freedom are people with knowledge, people with guidance, people with integrity, healing from despair. Statements are mostly our premature thoughts. We must gauge out to receive what we are lacking so that we do not take a longer time to complete what can be completed in a split of an hour. While command is the matured word that comes out of its completion, and we know it when we walk with it. For hearing is not enough. We must be able to walk with it to prove it is fulfilling. But it takes the initial steps of hearing to understand by interpretation. Healthy interpretation is required. Do not be the one to reject that cornerstone that keeps the building blocks together. We must be able to distinguish between a statement and a command, knowing both are important. But statement must become a command through the pruning and reshaping to perfect of origin state. For it was first a command before it became a statement. Sometimes statements are only realized because of the pressure of increasing in number of population wise. Our true self does not change. Our true self is the inner sanctum, the mind battlefield free, our true identity to all of this diverse point of view because of the outside world we live in divisions. A purpose leads to focus in life, of a long journey of infancy looking for integrity that comes with wisdom age. Must we have the purpose of humanity and not contradicting our expected goal to enter into the inner sanctum where our forefathers rest in peace of the mind, the holistic state of our being. Feeling not loved, feeling not efficient, the need to balance another, even when not efficient, should not deprive us of knowing our true being. Having a diagnosis does not mean you cannot diagnose another, but how we diagnose another, aware of our diagnosis, helps us to heal each other with integrity, with respect and dignity. Let every communication make you feel better so you can start a process of digesting. And every encounter with each other will redirect you to that communication to reach its perfection. Because every planted communication is like seed that is growing into every being, must be applied to reach its maturity of all satisfied. True that some premature words cannot be used to others, cannot be used upon others, but can be redirected to achieve the truth behind it. Like I say, you need not go to the ocean to know what water is like. When a drop is sufficient, the basics, the simplicity are enough to learn from, especially when it has to do with disturbing images and our age groups and experience. Our world needs help, rich or of lower income. First class or of the third world nations are all yearning for knowledge. It's true money. Wealth is only a reflection of knowledge. How can you see a shadow without the being? You must find the being. How can you see the crown on the king's head without seeing the king's head? The king's mind must match the crown. Skin to skin, heart to heart. Ton cœur sur mon cœur. Ça fait du bien. Mind to mind, understanding is fulfilling and comforting. Disputes are restless, yet a good argument would bring us to perfect understanding and direct us to our destination of known lost. For what is my being found when you are still lost? Or what is your being found and I still lost? You may only feel contented for a short time, and then you will miss me. Even an enemy is a friend when you begin to realize the good you could have done to enable them recover from their weaknesses. Therefore, a good news should spread like lava and not magma, because it carries the kinetic energy to fulfill the potential energy of resting and celebration, of none left out. It's time we reach out to the world and not just to a community. It is not just about my culture, but our humanity. Sometimes we get lost in our cultures than the expected of universal, in which the creatures are also involved, and even the stones, like non-living, begin to become living when we understand our universal existence. Healing from grief, aware of the stages of grieving, there is acceptance. The time of acceptance and compliance should not be of low self-esteem, for it can become arrogance. It should be of reality, of understanding and all truth. Celibacy, luxury. We yearn for to enter the inner sanctum. Without celibacy and luxury, we cannot enter the inner sanctum, because the inner sanctum requires perfect peace, perfect integrity with no despair. You do not want to complete your journey of human life and even enter the unknown and find work that you could have been able to complete in the human life. What is the point to complete your journey and forget the door key of the house you have to enter into? The good journey becomes like a nightmare, Two keys we have to work with. The key of the journey and the key to enter the destination perfect. You can have all the wealth you want, but without the sound mind. Do you want to return to this world again? Aware this world is only a journey. How many times do you want to go back and forth? Some addicted to the back and forth, not being able to enter the destination of the inner sanctum. You need not labor forever, for we know that a laborer needs rest, and healthy rest it must be. With all the education we have, how do we still war each other? What are we missing, if not the increasing in population? Not aware of the wrapper on the candy. The candy is so sweet, but must fulfill its purpose of satisfying the journey, the traveling mercies of the journey, the sweetness to completion. Ice sublimes and water evaporates. There is no stagnation of the human stages of life. A baby at 40, a baby at 80, we all look forward to transition to the place of integrity, perfect peace, when all we've left behind is a lesson and a blessing. Our regrets become lessons for others to learn the lessons, not to repeat the mistakes, but to increase the blessing, which has come to the place where even the women are beginning to realize the mistakes of increasing birth rate instead of reaching the increase of mind equal with the male, of healing the world and keeping it of a higher infrastructure development while evacuating with integrity perfect. If we have to look back, let us see good work and not despair. Hope this transformation of present time results of goodness, of keeping us one and not divided. It is not a world to compete against each other, but a world to encourage each other, not copying others' mistakes, but rather making lessons of them and re-educating them to recover. Such is a leader. Our value of integrity is greater than the money, only a tool to achieve that perfect integrity. Let us educate our young ones, even though we may be struggling with some disabilities. Our diagnosis should not deprive us from healing others. of their own diagnosis, if we can. For surely we can, because of our experiences. And whatever we give out should be with the healthy interpretation. An enemy can recover. Does not mean that you should bond with an enemy. You may only end up becoming an enemy yourself. But rather, healthily encouraging them to recover, enabling the distinction between despair and integrity, realizing the weakness of man is only a diagnosis and not the identity. Thank you for listening today. Welcome in June, the month of unification. Requires kindness, cleanliness, accountability, to enter into the holistic state, like water on a thirsty ground, for healing. Every word we say is very important, even if it is repetitive. Positive repetition is emphasis. We are enforcing integrity of all truth, none left behind. Peace steals the storm back to peace that has no storm, looking on to perfect peace. Thank you.